The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have now taken the lead in the NFC South. As much as that hurts me, as you can tell, who I root for. They're now traveling to Los Angeles to take on Justin Herbert and the Chargers, who were a couple inches away from beating the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. And so my name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan. We're going to break down this great Week 15 matchup here for you between the Bucs and the Chargers. But before we do that, we're about 200-ish subscribers away from our year-end goal of 6,000. So let's see if we can hit that goal this week right here. So if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think will win this game and why. Ryan, Buccaneers had a dominant victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. They did leave with a couple of guys getting hurt, and they're already pretty banged up on the defensive side of the ball anyways. But even to their star running back, Bucky Irving, he got hurt and didn't come back into the game. So his status will need to be monitored throughout the week going into this game. Chargers, they were without Ladd McConkey, and I think it was obvious to how much they missed him because there's actually points, especially in the second half. Offense really came up big in the second half. And if they would have had Ladd McConkey, that much more consistent possession guy, I think they would have pulled out that game. Chargers are a really good team. They got a solid defense. They took it to the Chiefs. Want to throw it over to you here. When you look at this matchup here, what are some of the things that really stick out to you that both teams really need to be aware of to come out victorious?
Yeah, I mean, I think the secondary for this Bucs, I don't say it's been a liability, but it's definitely been the weaker point of this defense all year. Now, I think the question is, do the Chargers have the weapons right now to take advantage of that? And I think that's to be determined. But all in all, I think this game is just going to come down to who wins in the trenches on either side of the ball. You look, Diaby, Vita Vea, they're having good years, kind of stuff in the run, getting after the passer. And on the trenches, or the offensive side of the ball, the Bucs offensive line is much improved. Graham Barton has been a very welcome addition. Tristan Wirfs is playing really well at left tackle. And then on the flip side of the field, Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Tuli Tuipulotu, all having really good pass rushing seasons. It's still not a great run stuffing defense, but it's much improved compared to how they have been in the past. And then offensively, adding Joe Alt, Rashawn Slater still at that left side. Like, this is a really solid offensive line. They weren't able to run the ball super well against the Chiefs. The Chiefs do have a good run defense, but with J.K. Dobbins being out, his status, he's on IR, so he will not be in this matchup. But all in all, to me, it's just going to come down to who wins in the trenches, because outside of like Mike Evans, obviously Hall of Fame wide receiver, and I think the Bucs have some good weapons on that side of the ball, but I think Justin Herbert is the better quarterback. I think he can do a better job of kind of throwing his guys open. And yeah.
Yeah. Oh, not. I would say Justin Herbert is the better quarterback, but not by much. Baker Mayfield, man,
he's having a great year.
He's had a great year. He's having a great time at Tampa Bay.
If you ask Tampa fans, would you swap Baker Mayfield for Justin Herbert? Like, probably 19 out of 20 of them would say yes.
Well, we'll see. Leave a comment down below. Let's do a poll here. But and so I think Justin Herbert is the better quarterback. But that being said, though, too, I mean, the more and more I watch of Baker Mayfield, the more and more I hate that he's a Bucs, because I got to see him 2 times a year. Because it's like, how can you not like the guy, especially everything he's been through in his career? It's like, I think he's the heart and soul. Him and Mike Evans, I think, are the heart and soul of this Tampa Bay team. I think they're such great leaders, and that's why they're probably going to go and win the NFC South again, and the Falcons are going to blow another divisional lead. And so going into this game here, though, they're going to really need to step up because this Chargers defense – it's funny, you guys probably saw me crack up because I have this Excel sheet with all the stats here, and I accidentally clicked on the Los Angeles Rams. And I saw their rankings. I'm like, the Chargers defense is not that bad, is it? Like, no, it's the Rams defense. So the Chargers defense, as you were saying, they're 11th overall in total yards allowed, 8th in passing yards allowed, 14th in rushing yards allowed, but they're 5th in sacks. They have 39 sacks on the season. So this Tampa team is going to go up against a solid Chargers defense. We want to make sure that everybody's healthy, get Bucky Irving back in there. Still have Rashad White, still have Sean Tucker, who has been playing well also, but Irving, I think, has kind of taken the step ahead, and he's become the main guy. Defensively, though, it's going to be a fun matchup between the Chargers offensive line and then that Vita Vea, Yaya Diaby, and that defensive front seven for them. But if there is a weakness, though, for this team, it is that secondary for Tampa Bay. Part of it is they've just been banged up for a majority of the year. Even Antoine Winfield, he got hurt, and I believe he already got put on IR. as well.
Yeah,
He's at least out for this game for sure. So that's going to be a loss as well. And Justin Herbert in this passing game has improved significantly from what we saw earlier on in the year. That second half, they were taking it to a Chiefs team that, as you mentioned, is a good defense. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. And they're able to move the ball around pretty effectively. That's what I'm saying. If they had Ladd McConkey there, that possession guy that could really open things up for them, that's where I think it could be very interesting as well. The Chargers' run game, J.K. Dobbins is on IR, but even just in general, they're not the best running team. They're 19th overall in rushing yards. But then when you're going up against this Tampa Bay defense, they're 11th overall in rushing yards allowed. And so I think it's going to be tough for them to if they can't win that battle in the trenches, I think it's going to be tough for them to run the ball, especially too with J.K. Dobbins still on IR. They still have Gus Edwards, and they still have Vidal. Is it Community Vidal?
Yeah.
He's
a running back, I think, from Troy.
I think so. Yeah. So I apologize if I'm wrong there. So there are still some other options that they can use. But it's going to be a very interesting game in Los Angeles. I feel like it's going to be kind of a neutral site game. I feel like there's going to be a lot of Tampa fans that are there. The thing for me is just can the superstars, like the superstars, going to have to show up for both these teams. Justin Herbert's going to have to keep playing well. I feel like Justin Herbert almost has to play kind of perfectly just with the weapons that they have around him. While Baker Mayfield, if Bucky Irving comes, they can lean on the run game a little bit sometimes. They can throw screen passes to Mike Evans and let him do his thing. Jalen McMillan's come on strong as well. Cade Otton has done really well. And I'm just saying that if Baker Mayfield's not having his day, he's been playing really well this season so far. So there's a little bit more flexibility there. But that secondary can still sometimes be a little bit of a liability. But
yeah, and that to me, I think, one, Justin Herbert has been playing phenomenal. I think he's only thrown one interception on the year. He's thrown about 400 pass attempts in a row without not just, I think it's with that, not just an interception, but not a turnover worthy play. So it'll be interesting to kind of see if this Tampa Bay defense can get after him and create some pressure. But let's go ahead and get into predictions here. Tyler, I'm going to throw it over to you first, since you're leading our season-long competition.
Yeah, I'm up 9 overall. We're doing pick games. And I will say, too, I think I've locked weeks 1. And so I think I've locked that up.
Yeah, it doesn't
but
matter.
Now, I think when it comes to individual games, I'm up 9. Just not that I'm counting or anything or that I want to put it out on the record. So for Bucs fans, they're not going to be shocked by this. I'm going to pick the Chargers, honestly, primarily just because I need them to beat y'all. And the Falcons need to figure their stuff out. This is a family-friendly show, but I could have gone on an adult language tirade there because Falcons are struggling. So this is really the last tough game for Tampa Bay. You guys do play not Kansas City, Carolina still, and that's going to be a very interesting game. But you guys are at the Chargers here, Week 16 at Dallas, home against Carolina and New Orleans. New Orleans is going to be the easiest game. Derek Carr, he's out with a broken hand. And I think last time you guys played the Saints, Spencer Rattler was the guy, and you guys really just played one bad quarter and gave up 27 points. And then I think you guys beat them 50-27. So Chargers, though, I think when also too another reason for my pick as well, outside of then just my fan bias, but I do think if there's a liability on both of these teams, how is this Tampa Bay secondary going to do? Because this passing game for Los Angeles is picking up a little bit. He's connecting with Quentin Johnson, Josh Palmer, as well. And so if Ladd McConkey comes back, I think that's going to help out significantly and maybe something that they could exploit. So I'm going to go with the Chargers here, half, because I think there's a possibility, half also too. I need you guys to lose.
Yeah. And I want to disagree with you on this one, but I also have to go with the Chargers. One, I kind of said it early in the video. When it's close like this, I tend to lean towards the better quarterback. And I feel that way. I feel that Justin Herbert is the better quarterback in this matchup. But since week 3, when they played the Broncos, my apologies. Since week 4, when they played the Eagles, they have not beat a team with an above 500 record. They lost twice to your Falcons. They lost to the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the 49ers. And the 49ers also have a below 500 record at this point. But their wins then are at the Saints, at the Giants, at the Panthers, and then versus the Raiders. So 4 pretty awful teams. And those are the last 4 wins. And I don't want to discredit them for that. but I'm going to. Like, those are 4 teams we're picking in the top 8.
Well,
So
yeah, I will. In the Bucks' defense, which is hard for me to do right now, they should have beat us in that Week 5 game. Like it's
yeah.
wild that even too then their secondary was so banged
Well,
up.
even then, you guys, if they did beat you, you're still not an above 500 team at this point.
I know, yeah. And then when we played them again the second time, that was the week
Y-
after Chris Godwin broke his ankle and Mike Evans pulled his hammy. So
Yeah.
and then you guys still put up 26 points, and I don't know why we didn't start guarding K. Dot because he had like 200 yards, but not that I remember or anything. But to be fair to them, though, I think the Tampa Bay team is the best team in the NFC South. I don't think they're as good as last year because I think they've been so banged up.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if they can maybe make a run. Also, last year you guys played Philly in that first round, which what was the easiest one because Philly just fell off the face of the earth. But then y'all took it to Detroit in the divisional round. So I don't think y'all are as good as last year, mainly just because of the injuries. I think that's the biggest. You know what? I say that though. You guys' running game is significantly better. So maybe a little bit more injuries, yes, but you guys are a much more effective running team.
I just feel like this Bucks team, and I feel similar to a lot of the teams in that NFC South division right now. They're good enough to beat the bad teams, like handily beat the bad teams. I don't know if they're good enough to contend with. I don't know if I would say the Chargers are a lock playoff contender, but they're a playoff contender.
Well, and so
Especially
that's
with
where
Justin Herbert.
the Chargers' path to the playoff is much simpler. I mean, so there's 3 teams at 8-5. There's 2 teams at 6-7, and the Bengals are 5-8. So technically, they're still in the playoffs. But the Chargers,
They need to win one more game.
They play the Bucks, then they host Denver, who they have beaten already, but that's going to be a much different game as well. But then at New England, then at Las Vegas Raiders. So the last 2 games are absolutely doable for the Chargers. Their path to the playoff is much simpler. They can get a lot of help from some of the teams below them to almost kind of just mathematically eliminate themselves. While the Buccaneers, though, Atlanta has a tiebreaker for the division. The wild card spot, they're 1 game back from the wild card spot, which is currently held by Washington, who's at 8-5. So there's a lot more murkiness. Tampa Bay controls their destiny, but if they lose this game and Atlanta beats Las Vegas, then Atlanta controls their destiny for the division at that point. So we'll have to wait and see. For playoff wise, I'd much rather be in the Chargers spot, just because there's. I say that I don't know, but Tampa Bay controls their destiny. I guess so do the Chargers. So just win.
Yeah.
I think I can say that to both teams. Just score more points than the others.
But only one team can win, and we are both taking the Chargers in this matchup. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. Nice segue, Ryan. I know. Let's go ahead. We'll wrap this one up here. If you have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. That is the best way to help out the channel. Leave a comment down below on who you think is going to come out ahead in this matchup. Will it be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Will it be the Los Angeles Chargers? And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.